So this is the Khoodeelaar television channel, broadcasting under the banner of BabyAngelGeronimoManifestoEditions, accompanied by this Koji angel and her entire family of baby kittens from 1978 until today, 19th of October, 2024. The news about Bangladesh that is accessible, and I'm only relying and reliant on publicly accessible news. I have no other source, so I have to contextually diagnose and analyze the news to get to the real essence of what is actually happening in Bangladesh after the 5th of August 2024 events. So the news that I have been able to access in the period from 5th of August until today, Saturday, the 19th of October 2024, tells me that, let's say, of the 100 points of options and obligations facing the interim regime fronted by Muhammad Yunus, I would say they are only using about 3% at most, while at the same time, the forces that constituted the fascist regime fronted by Sheikh Hasina are active on the so-called social media and other platforms across the world, especially in the West. So they're posting falsely fronted messages suggesting that Sheikh Hasina is still the leader of the Awami League, is still intact and is organized and is likely to intervene whenever the interim regime fronted by Muhammad Yunus is found to be vulnerable. I don't see any evidence that any of the so-called organized political parties in Bangladesh, including the party that was founded by Ziaur Rahman, but has politically disintegrated in the period since he died, despite the fact that his widow, Khaleda Zia, was in power more than once. What Ziaur Rahman would have done if he had been alive is obviously only a matter of speculation. But my knowledge of him suggests that there would have been follow-ups and that the party that he founded would have been consolidated if he had been around for another 20 years. He has not been around for another 20 years. And Khaleda Zia lacks the necessary intellect, and there is nobody else in the party hierarchy that can actually represent consistency, coherence, commitment, and the ideological strength in the party. Whatever Mirza Fakhrul Islam does represent intellectually is not enough. He, of course, represents something, but not enough. As for the so-called Islamist party, the Jamaat-e-Islami, the Jamaat-e-Islami is not fit for purpose. Not fit for purpose in Bangladesh, not fit for purpose in Pakistan, not fit for purpose in the Republic of India. The Jamaat-e-Islami is a strange continuation of the questionable political ideology that was embodied in and represented by Maududi. My one encounter with Maududi face to face happened in 1970. And I was not convinced in 1970, that was 54 years ago, that Maududi had it. No announcement, no publication or published statements by the party, the Jamaat-e-Islami, during Maududi's life amounted to an understanding of the situation, politically, the situation in Pakistan, pre-16th of December 1971. And since the 16th of December 1971, the Jamaat-e-Islami has failed, absolutely failed. Of course, it has been successful in maintaining the myth that it is the Islamic party. It's not. The Islam is a kind of pretense. The Jamaat-e-Islami is a secret organization. It has never been investigated properly by any accessible investigative individual or organization. Those that have made comments adverse to the Jamaat-e-Islami have done so for party political short-term propaganda purposes. No real examination of the Jamaat-e-Islami has been done in the last, let's say, 80 years. And as for the Bangladesh National Party, Nationalist Party, the BNP, the party that Ziaur Rahman had founded, it hasn't been investigated either, nor indeed has the Awami League. As for the other parties, smaller parties, the same applies. So what I'm witnessing about Bangladesh now, post 5th of August 2024, is what I witnessed before Bangladesh came into being on the 16th of December 1971. East Pakistan. I became involved intellectually, analytically, morally in the mid-1950s. And based on the evidence before me at that time, I supported the movement that was fronted by the late Maulana Abdul Hamid Khan Bashani. But again, apart from Maulana Abdul Hamid Khan Bashani, there wasn't anyone, political leaders, in the movement that Bashani fronted that could actually carry out the necessary tasks of leadership, organization, mobilization, analysis, and continuity. My belief is that The Hindutva ideology, the banner, the slogan that is keeping the Indian Hindutva amalgam fronted by the criminal against humanity, Narendra Modi, is only being kept alive because of absence of any alternative. The Nehru dynasty has died politically. I mean, there is nothing that any member of the Nehru family has offered by way of any stance, any position in the name of the Congress party founded by the Nehrus, doesn't come anywhere near matching the challenges needed by the country, the Republic of India. India has got the Republic of India, that is post 15th of August 1947, is misrepresenting, denying, suppressing more than half of the population of India. India post 15th of August 1947. And this lack of representation of the people is being left unaddressed, both by the Nehru family and Nehru family fronted party Congress, even also by the smaller groups like the West Bengal organization fronted by Mamata Banerjee. As compared to the others, Mamata Banerjee is, of course, more active and more actively engaged. But her active engagement and awareness is not covering the needs of the people that have been betrayed for 8 years. As for Pakistan, as I have said before, of course, the regime that is in control or in power is useless for the future of the country. But even when examining the contents of what Imran Khan has been saying since he was ousted, it doesn't show that he understands. Imran Khan's only memorable comments about 1971 were based on ignorance on his part. Imran Khan misunderstood, and unless he has corrected his misunderstanding without my awareness of it in the last, let's say, 2 years, Imran Khan misstated the political relevance of the Awami League. He gave the Awami League more credibility and credence than the evidence supports. So my public advice to Imran Khan about 1971 and the military, Pakistan military's behavior in mass murdering innocent people, civilians in 1971. My advice based on the overdue compensation, damages, apologies, etc., have not been implemented by Imran Khan even before his ouster. And I would say the main reason for that failure is because of Imran Khan's ignorance. As a footnote, he's being blocked by the Oxford University from being a candidate for the chancellor post of the university, I would say is part of the heavy lobbying by India. In any case, Imran Khan's supporters are wrong to put too much emphasis on his being excluded. Instead of that kind of candidature, Imran Khan's supporters should be making up, that is, the filling the gaps left by his ignorance while in power. And there should be running an active daily narrative about the future of the country. All of these items I'll be updating on in due course. This particular edition is going to be ended in 3 minutes' time, approximately. I said there is Hadley Freeman, whose piece in the Sunday Times last week is headed "Wealthy Man Powered the Industrial Rape Machine." That piece is based on mainly Weinstein and the black raper P. Diddy. But she doesn't actually understand the whole of the British society, the whole of the Western society, nor does Anthony Seldon, whose piece appears in the same edition of the Sunday Times, saying that the Tories can only rebuild. Well, I'll read that again. The Tories can rebuild only with giants, not pygmies. Now, as I said before in previous commentaries, Anthony Seldon is a career biographer of British prime ministers and leaders. But he is, by definition, a careerist opportunist and is very ignorant about the things that he writes about. And the idea of journalism, Western journalism, is overrated. Hadley Freeman doesn't talk about the so-called organs of the state. And there lies her evidence of her ignorance. And I only mention the behavior of the High Court judges, Griffiths and Murray before him, as part of this stoogery used by the depraved DEFRA to attack the innocence of the baby angel Geronimo. Shall be updating on all of these, ending this at just under 19 minutes long at 09:33 hours GMT, Saturday, the 19th of October 2024.